Good evening, everyone. Well. It has been quite some time since we've all met and been together, my friends. It's been so much going on in my life, so many good things, so many self-affirmations, so many revelations, and you'll see all of that work coming soon. But more importantly, we have come to speak and talk and discuss the shenanigans that happened today. Okay? First I want to say I gotta give a lot of people hello, shout outs. Hi, Darlene. Darlene's one of my greatest supporters. Lamont, what's going on, Lamont? Stacy, Sandra. Wow, you guys are like really falling in. You know, sometimes I think I'm like, are people still gonna watch this? I don't know, but thank you. Hey, Demeter, it's so good to see you too as well. And I want to give a special shout out to my YouTube family, Secretary of Shade, youtube.com/Secretary of Shade, my cabinet members over in YouTube. Hi, guys. I know I said I would be back last week, but I had to go to Los Angeles to work on something, and I'll be back out in Los Angeles later this week. Actually, I fly out on Friday. I'll be there until Tuesday. But hello, everyone. Janice, it's so good. You like hearing my voice? Okay, wow, thank you, awesome. Vicky, how's it going, Vicky? And I know we haven't done this in a while, but I got called to the carpet today, okay, because today was foolishness, all right? So just to give you a heads up, we're going to discuss not only the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, we're going to discuss also the trial for the murderers of Ahmaud Arbery. I want to be very intentional with how I say that because Ahmaud Arbery is not on trial. He lost his life tragically due to people not minding their own goddamn business. Now, we're also going to touch on inflation, right? It's holiday season. You know, the post office, I've just given up at this point. You know, somebody said online, the Amazon Prime ain't priming no more. Therefore, I had to cancel. But first, hi, Jamal. But first, we're going to get into this Kyle Rittenhouse trial. So, baby, okay, I watched it live. I had it on in the background all day, you know, and it was exhausting. So Kyle Rittenhouse is on trial for killing 2 people and shooting another in the protest that happened due to the killing of another young man in Kenosha, Washington by police. And so he's on trial for this murder. Now I want to say this first, okay? I'm gagging because this is the first trial of these types of trials, right? Where it's not a black-white trial. And I'm speaking from a racial perspective, right? I don't know the exact ethnicities of the 2 men who lost their lives, unfortunately, and the one who was shot, but they look white. Okay, so this is the first trial where it's not any race involved. This trial is interesting because this is the first trial, guys, where it's really in is layman's terms as I can put it, it's right versus left. Okay? Liberal versus conservative or radical conservative, because I'm not going to say that all conservatives decide to cross state lines with a gun that they're not supposed to have and go and scrub graffiti, okay, and end up killing 2 people. So first off, because we're going to get into the judge, we're going to get into the prosecution, and we're going to get into Mother Rittenhouse, okay? Now, it was the tears for me, okay? I get so sick of this damn crying that happens on these stands, okay? When people are called to the carpet. Mostly white males are called to the carpet. The tears. And then I want to say the tears, but I didn't actually see any tears. Okay? That's kind of the difference here. It was a valiant effort. And if you took that performance and put a little movie magic and CGI on it, bitch, that was giving you straight Law and Order tease, bitch. Like, sign him the fuck up. If you get off, which he will, sign him up for Law and Order, bitch. Don't even cast somebody else when y'all do the episode based on this trial. Just go ahead and sign his ass up. I just can't. And here's the thing, okay? There were no other tears or breakdowns anywhere else, bitch, throughout this trial. Today. It was that one moment, and then the judge recessed for 10 minutes, and then we came back, bitch, and it was given, let's continue our scripted approach. Now, what I will say is this. The defense attorneys, even though I don't like them, and that's the thing, whenever you're a defense attorney for some shit like this, you're just not going to be liked. And that's just the bottom line, okay? You're just not going to be fucking liked. I'm looking at these defense attorneys, and I'm like, one of them look like a damn alcoholic. The other one look like he has a small penis. It's just giving me, I don't like you, okay? Now, I will give them credit. They coached that boy, bitch. He is prepped. Okay? He is prepped for surgery, bitch. He's ready to go under the knife. His procedures are starting exactly at 7 a.m. and he gonna be out that motherfucker by 11:30. He was prepped. Okay? He was prepped. I've never seen, like, the act. It was the act for me. It was the act, like the way he responded, even the facials. Like, I am gagging at how prepped. And that goes to show you, you cannot base anything off of age. You cannot, because in another world, right, in any other circumstance, a defense attorney would never put a 17, 18-year-old person on the stand for some shit like this, especially when, they in a line of fire, no pun intended. You would never do that, right? But Mother Rittenhouse? Oh. He sets the precedent, bitch. I am gagging. Now, first off, he's just sounded dumb. And I don't want to pick, well, he's of legal age now. He's an adult, so he just sounded dumb. And then the constant, well, my arm was up here, and then his arm came down, and then spare me, okay? The prosecution, bless his heart, the prosecution has really screwed this one up. And you know what's so interesting? Today, while watching, I was like, this trial's over. The trial's over. Like, watching it, I was like, bitch, this trial is done. And then the defense asked for a mistrial because Dingbat and the prosecution did some shit, and I don't know the correct legal term, but he was talking about his silence, okay, prior to the trial, leading up to the trial for months, which he wasn't supposed to do, and the judge, called him out on it. Speaking of the judge, if I ever am on a stand for killing somebody, please, God, please let me get this judge. Please let me get this judge. But you know what? I shouldn't say that, because even if I got this judge, it's not going to matter because of this. So I guess I shouldn't pray for this judge. But he capping for this man like a motherfucker. He might as well get off the damn bench and come sit in a little section with the defense at this point. He been litigating this trial more than the defense been litigating this trial. Okay? Like, I've never, not even on TV court, bitch. You know how you watch the TV court shows and like the TV movies and shit? I ain't never, this is a script, bitch. Okay? This is a script. I've never seen this in my life. And the thing is, I understand upholding law, upholding precedents, but he's so nasty. And that's why I had to stop watching Judge Judy, because I felt like the bitch was just she was coming out her mouth too much. So I just had to stop watching Judge Judy, because I felt myself wanting to come through the screen on her ass. So I had to stop watching her. And, you know, this is the same thing. Like, he worse than Judge Judy, bitch, and I can't stand Judge Judy. But he worse than Judge Judy. And it's, like I said, it's not that he's, you know, upholding things or anything. It's not about that. It's just that you're so nasty. And I'm so annoyed that in this country, judges essentially get to be nasty to people in court like this. And the thing is, he was nasty to the prosecutor, to the point where he was literally, in my opinion, I'm not a legal expert, guys, but in my opinion, he castrated that prosecuting attorney in there. That's just the bottom line. He castrated the fuck out of that man in that trial. To the point where, as a person watching it, I'm like, this is just ugly. Like, game over. Like, you're not winning this one. And then, you know, they had the reporters in the courtroom that be drawing people. You know how you see the shit on the news, and they be, you know, having a drawing of the people, and they be like stick figures and shit. They be like, ooh, you know, ooh, and the thing, and nut braces and shit. And, so even the reporters in the courtroom was like, when he started crying, bitch, and all that shit, they started looking sympathetic. Like, the jury was like, you know, like, damn, that's fucked up. But watching it, I was annoyed because, and yes, I'm bringing up history, because there's some people that are going to watch this video and they're going to say, you know, you're making everything about race and all of that. In America, you can't help but do that. Like, let's stop acting like we don't do that in America, right? Like, and here's the thing. I am a person, just to segue, and I'm going to prove my point. I am a person who, I'm from, you know, inner city, black neighborhood. I spent a lot of my early adult years, right, in, you know, punk scene, alternative scene, art kid scene with a lot of white folks. And I found being black is explaining to your friends who are not black that there's certain places that you don't feel comfortable traveling to. There's certain places that you're sketchy about. And not because you don't like the place, not anything personal against them, but you just know that the probability of things not going well in said location is high. Okay? And looking at this trial, I couldn't help but think of the Central Park case, the Central Park 5, and, you know, how much grace they weren't given. How the public, you know, just really was hard on them with less proof, no video, and just basically speculation. And then I fast forward to this case, and it just makes me annoyed more than anything to see how much grace the judge is giving him. And I'm annoyed because I'm so annoyed by that. I'm actively researching, guys, to see if there's anybody that judges have to answer to, or is any way you can file a complaint on a judge, because I've never seen this type of partial behavior. But you know a bitch went and did his research on this judge. So let's get into this judge. Okay? Now, so Bruce Schroeder, okay, and some of this is coming from the New York Times, some of this is coming from CNBC, and The Guardian as well. Okay, so Bruce Schroeder is the longest serving circuit court judge in Wisconsin, okay? Now, Judge Schroeder is 75. He believes he's seen more homicide trials than any other judge in the state. He graduated from Marquette Law School in 1970, worked as a prosecutor, and began serving as a circuit judge in 1983. His longevity is the subject of frequent conversation in the courtroom. As he said in the courtroom, and he said this, he has been in this business for 50 years. Now let's pause here, okay? He's been a circuit judge since 83, bitch. He's been a circuit judge longer than I've been alive. He's been in this business for 50 years. Notice he says he's been in this business. So this is a business. It's not, I've been in service. Because when you're a public servant, which you are as a judge, you would say, I've been a public servant for 50 years. Not I've been in this business for 50 years. But as we know, it is a business. The legal system is a business. The prison system is a business. He's been in there for 50 years. In Kenosha legal circles, Judge Schroeder has a reputation for strictness in sentencing. He is known for delivering lectures to prospective jurors about their civic duty, which in this trial he likened to serving as an American soldier in Vietnam. He frequently complains about media bias and the impact that news coverage can have on prospective jurors. Judge Schroeder quizzed prospective jurors. As he quizzed prospective jurors, he said that he has read news articles on the Rittenhouse case and has asked himself whether he was in the same courtroom that was described in the articles. He has also acknowledged that some of the topics raised in pretrial hearings are new to him. Until this case, Judge Schroeder said in a hearing he had never heard of the Proud Boys. Lies. A far-right group that offers support to Mr. Rittenhouse. And he was unfamiliar with the OK hand sign. Okay? And this is his quote. The first time I saw it, or a version of it, was Chef Boyardee on a can of spaghetti. Ha ha ha, bitch. You got jokes. You're funny. Boo. In one of the judge's highest profile cases, listen to this, because this is where the plot thickens, bitch. In one of the judge's highest profile cases, the 2008 murder trial of Mark Jensen, who was accused of poisoning his wife Julie with antifreeze, damn, bitch, and then smothering her in the garage. God damn, you must really ain't like that, bitch. Y'all fell out of love deeply. Just get a divorce. But anyway, a conviction was overturned when appellate courts in the state Supreme Court ruled that Judge Schroeder had improperly allowed evidence in the trial. The judge allowed the prosecution to present a letter that Julie Jensen had written and given to a neighbor, as well as a voicemail messages she had left for a police officer, suggesting that if anything happened to her, her husband would be responsible. Okay? So, here's my thing. First off, why are we not allowing shit like that in trials? Like, I feel like that should have been allowed in trial. Second thing is, reading this, it kind of gives me a little bit of insight as far as to why he's so hard on the prosecution, because the bitch got pinched. So he really showing his ass. That's why I think, and I'm just on the outside looking in, his ass got in trouble before back in 2008. And so he's really, because this trial is televised and it's high profile, he trying to make sure, okay, he trying to make sure that he crosses T's and dot his I's. Which, after reading that, I get. But here's the thing, sis. You got to find balance. It's a difference between covering your ass and just being nasty. Okay? You was just being nasty. All right? And I think that it sends a bad message, especially to other citizens of this country, particularly citizens of color, because I'm going to be honest with you. As a person of color, I'm watching this trial and I'm just like, you know? And it's one of those things where this kid is going to get off. I want to be clear about that. I hope that I'm wrong. Once again, this is one of these things where I hope that we meet up and I come back and be like, damn, I was wrong as a motherfucker about that. His ass is going to jail, bitch. But in my heart, I know that he's getting off. I know that he's getting off. And while I don't think that that's okay, I have already resolved that in my heart. When I read legal experts, when I see legal experts, lawyers on TV saying, damn, bitch, his testimony today, you couldn't have did it any better. Anytime CNN is saying, bitch, it's not looking good, niece, they did that, he gonna get off. And him getting off is, it sends a bad message. It sends a bad message because now you're going to have more Kyle Rittenhouses getting rifles that they wasn't supposed to have, bitch. First of all, okay, you lied about being an EMT, bitch. You was basically officer friendly, bitch. You wasn't even officer friendly. You one of them people that just go to the PAL Center, but it's just like the EMT version. You talking about y'all help at the Veterans of Foreign Wars pancake breakfast, bitch. That is not EMTs. Y'all go once a week. Bitch, you wasn't no damn EMT. And the thing is, he knew the fuck out them gun laws. He tried to act stupid. But I'm going to tell you something. And for people who are not familiar with gun laws, I'm going to tell you, even in the state of Maryland, right now, and I'm a gun holder, I'm a licensed bitch because I'm black. I can't afford to be skipping through steps, bitch. So I done went through all my steps. I got the card, bitch. I went to the state police. Because I'm black. I can't just do shit halfway, okay? Now, in the state of Maryland, which it sounds like this is a similar law where they're at, do you know that you have to go through 800 steps to buy a handgun? But if you go, and I think the system, I forget the name of the system, but you can actually go to a gun store and buy a rifle as long as, when they pull you up in the state police database, as long as they see that you haven't done anything crazy in that database, you can walk right out the store with that gun with no gun training, no type of license, no type of instruction or experience. And you can walk out with a rifle. For those of you wondering, how is he able to get a rifle? Now, the way he got the rifle, he wasn't allowed to own that rifle because he was underage at the time. But it's very easy. Like, you could go in certain places and go to Walmart, bitch, and buy a rifle. Like, they got them lined up. So just to give you insight on how that works. So when you see these people with rifles and shit, no, they don't have it. Also, there are old gun laws where I can grandfather you into a rifle. Whereas though, if I own a rifle, right, and I can literally go on YouTube and keep me honest, because I know it's probably some gun owners in the chat, but I can literally have my rifle, okay, and say, oh, you want to buy my rifle? I can go on Word and make a bullshit ass bill of sale, sign it, you sign it, and bam, you're a rifle owner. Welcome to America. Hi, nice to meet you. Death on the left, injustice on the right, bathrooms in the back. You know, that's how it works. I've seen it firsthand. Now, from the fire pan into the fire, we got to talk about justice for Ahmaud Arbery. Okay. Now, the Ahmaud Arbery trial has been going on for about 3 days or so. And the trial is for Greg and Travis McMichael, father and son, and another man as well. They're on trial for basically hunting Ahmaud Arbery down for running while black. Okay. Now, with this trial, it's been interesting. It's been draining. But what I wanted to zero in on is the jury selection for this trial. Okay. Jury selection for this trial. Now, with the jury selection here, okay, I want to be intentional. Now, the judge acknowledged that there appeared to be intentional discrimination after a nearly all-white jury was selected for the trial for the 3 men accused of murdering Ahmaud Arbery. Now, the jury comprising of 11 white members and 1 black member. 1! Out of 12 jurors, only 1 is a black person or a person of color. So let's go down. Let's go down to the jury selection, bitch. Okay? So the jury selection for the case lasted for 11 days. And lawyers were initially given a pool of 48 jurors. 48 potential jurors. Okay? Out of the 48 potential jurors, only 12 of them were black. Only 12. Okay? But defense lawyers for the accused murderers, Gregory McMichael, 67, his 35-year-old son Travis McMichael, and their neighbor William Bryan, struck all but 1 of them from the final jury. So out of 12 black contenders, only 1 person made it to the jury, bitch. They got rid of all of them. Now, prosecutors had urged Judge Timothy Walmsley, who is overseeing the trial in South Georgia, to reverse the strikes of 8 black potential jurors whom they said had been intentionally targeted over race. A landmark 1986 U.S. Supreme Court decision in Batson v. Kentucky ruled it unconstitutional for potential jurors to be struck solely based on race or ethnicity. But Walmsley, while acknowledging the apparent intentional discrimination, cited limitations spelled out in the Supreme Court precedent and pointed to defense lawyers' justifications, which did not mention race or ethnicity. Of course they ain't gonna say it in the paperwork, bitch. But 1 + 1 = 2 out this motherfucker. Glenn County, Georgia, where the trial is taking place and where Arbery was killed, is 26% black and 69% white. Okay? Now, and this is why I had to take a break, guys, because this is very, very draining to report on this. It's very draining. And when you look at things like this, it just kind of, like, makes you feel like, wow. Okay? Now, prosecutors had urged Judge Timothy Walmsley, who is overseeing the trial in South Georgia, to reverse the strikes of 8 black potential jurors whom they said had been intentionally targeted over race. A landmark 1986 U.S. Supreme Court decision in Batson v. Kentucky ruled it unconstitutional for potential jurors to be struck solely based on race or ethnicity. But Walmsley, while acknowledging the apparent intentional discrimination, cited limitations spelled out in the Supreme Court precedent and pointed to defense lawyers' justifications, which did not mention race or ethnicity. Of course they ain't gonna say it in the paperwork, bitch. But 1 + 1 = 2 out this motherfucker. to see this. Now, this trial is ongoing. So the final panel for the trial consists of 12 jurors and 3 alternates. So on this jury are 11 white women, 3 white men, and 1 black man. Okay? So that's including, that's the 12 jurors and the 3 alternates. Okay? Okay? So, we're going to see how this trial unfolds. It is very disheartening to see. Now, the judge did come out the side of his mouth in this trial. So the judge has been showing their ass in both of these trials. But this judge in the Ahmaud Arbery trial actually went in on the defense about being rude and flippant and disrespectful to the court. So for whatever it's worth, hey, you know. But both of these trials are very interesting. Like I said, the Rittenhouse trial is a little bit different for me because it's the first time since, you know, we've had this awakening, the emergence for all my Eternal fans. Where it's not a race trial, it's not black versus white, it's like kind of left versus right. And it's interesting to see how this trial is going to pan out. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is these prices, bitch. Okay? Now, first off, no shade to anybody that work at the post office, but I'm going to need y'all to stop stealing my Amazon shit. Now, I had to cancel my damn Amazon today. I have been an Amazon Prime member since 2016, bitch. 2016. And I had to go and cancel Mother Amma today because the Amazon Prime ain't priming. My shit's missing. Now, here's the thing. And I had to, okay, so, and we're going to get to inflation, right? But I called Amazon. I said, Amazon, you know, is there any way I can get the post office not to deliver my shit? I would rather just the Amazon person, or like they send it through UPS or FedEx, right? And the Amazon lady, she felt my pain. She was cracking the fuck up with me because we was both on there hollering shit about the post office stealing. And she was like, unfortunately, we can't strike the post office from a delivery method. We could strike any other carrier. I said, every other carrier actually get my shit here. Okay? Every time I get something delivered from the post office, bitch, it never arrives in my goddamn house. They mark it up. Y'all know they do that shit. They mark it off as delivered. Like, first of all, bitch, yeah, y'all say y'all delivered it on a Sunday, but I know the damn post office workers don't be working like that on no motherfucking Sunday. Okay? So I had to cancel Mother Amma. Okay? In addition to that, part of that is because of supply chain, inflation. So here's a fun fact. Here's a fun fact. So you know how you're going to the market now? And everything's so goddamn high? Won't be inviting that many people for Thanksgiving this year. It's because the United States has had its highest inflation increase since 1990. The highest inflation increase in 30 years. Now, first off, bitch, I am gagging because I still refuse to believe that the 90s was 30 years ago. I just refuse to believe that. But the highest inflation rate since 1990. Everything's going up. From the food to, of course, gas. The price of a used car prices have risen 26%. For a used car. New cars have risen almost 10%. Food is up 6%. Your electric bill is going to go up about 6%. Everything is high. Now, they're saying it's because of COVID, supply chain, demands, and that kind of makes sense. I get it. You know, a lot of factories were shut down and things like that. Also, too, and this is why, you know, I'm an advocate for making things in your country of origin. Well, you know, in China, because of the COVID situation and things like that, a lot of their facilities, operations, plants did shut down, okay? They shut down. And as a result, it's such a backup in China. It's nobody there to get that stuff off of shipping containers, to get it to stores and things like that. So it's causing everything to back up. It's causing shortages, which is now causing inflation. Okay? Everything is going up. So won't be no ho-ho-hoing this year. Okay? You got to be special to me to get a gift. I'm just saying. My mother is on the short list, bitch. I'm just saying, you got to be special to get a gift from me. But 30 years, and today, President Biden was in Baltimore, my hometown, talking about the inflation of the infrastructure bill that's passing and things like that. And we got to talk about that later too, at some point. Not tonight, because wrestling come on at 8. But I just feel like, and here's just my thoughts. Okay, this is just me. Well, we have to give, the administration time to get things done. I would be remiss to not say that I'm disappointed. Now, I know, and I've said this in a lot of our meetings, that voting Joe Biden in was a stop the bleeding method, because I got tired of not being able to sleep at night because of the mad titan sitting in office. But y'all not giving what y'all supposed to have gave. Like, I don't never see Kamala. No shade. Okay. And Joe, I was an Elizabeth Warren fan. Y'all know I live for Mother Warren. You know that was my ticket. But hey, we're here now. Joe just seems out of it half the time. He don't look like he know whether he coming or going. The Democrats is infighting. They not. They whack. It's whack. It's whack. It's whack. And y'all know I'm a staunch supporter of, anything liberal. But this is whack. This is not giving what it was supposed to give. I feel like, I ordered my product off of Amazon, and when I got it in the mail, it was from Wish. And I know that they have to fix things from the previous administration. I get that. But here's my point. Here's how I'm going to spell this out. Okay. Here's how I'm going to spell this out. Biden doesn't inspire me. He doesn't make me feel like he's in the fight. He's not a fighting champion, if that makes sense. That's the term I use in boxing and wrestling. He's not a fighting champion. Like, when you're following up such a polarizing figure like Donald, you have to give inspiration. And he don't make me want to ride this storm out with him. You understand what I'm saying, y'all? He don't make me feel like, Joe, we can do this. If anything, he's making me more tired and more uninvested. And I'm going to be honest with you. That's part of the reason why we ain't been doing these meetings like that. Because it's draining. Not seeing progress is draining. But more importantly, not seeing progress and then not having, as the president, you are the leader of this country. You are the face of this country, but you are also the coach of this country. And you're not making me want to get out on the field and play for you. And I'm going to be honest with you. He wasn't my first choice, But I was not going to check a box for another 4 years of Donald Trump. I just was not going to do that. Okay? But he's sleepy as hell. I'm personally over it, to be honest. And it's just too much. It's just way too much. Kamala has all but disappeared. I at least thought Kamala was going to show up with all the Howard shit that's going on about their housing and infrastructure and everything they got going on at Howard University. I thought I would at least saw her ski-weeing for that. But I'm not inspired. I as a person, and I say this to you honest, we have a social contract with each other. Me, DDM, Deborah Midas, Emmanuel, whatever the fuck you want to call me. We got a social contract between me and you. And my social contract with you is that I'm always going to tell you the truth, even if it goes against what my initial belief was. I voted for Biden. Was he my first choice? No! But I wasn't going to vote for Trump. And I wasn't not going to vote at all. But I also am going to be man enough and honest enough with you to say that I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed. And I don't know any other way to say that. I feel like I bought a bad car. I bought a lemon. And to be honest, if the Republicans come back and get these seats, because watching these trials and things like that, the thing is, the damage done from the Trump era, from a judicial standpoint, from the judges that were appointed and things like that, he did damage that's going to last generations for us. And that's a fact. Generations. So that part, it is what it is. But Biden is not, this ain't it. This ain't it. And I'm going to be honest enough to say that. This ain't the moment. This is not the moment. Like, this ain't the moment. You know. But that's where we are. If you want to support the channel, support this research, you can also follow me on social media at Dapper Dan Midas, Cash App Venmo, $ Dapper Dan Midas, or at Dapper Dan Midas on Venmo. We're going to have these meetings regularly again. I'm officially back, so I'll be seeing you at least once a week. I do have to go to LA this weekend. I'll be back on Tuesday. I may meet with you guys on like Tuesday or, well, Wednesday, because I have to unpack it. Then I'll be back in New York for the rest of next week. But make sure you tune in. If you aren't subscribed on YouTube, the link is also in the title description in the video, youtube.com/Secretary of Shade, as well as social media at Dapper Dan Midas. It was great talking to you all again. While this research is draining, it was very, 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 very therapeutic to talk with you guys and for us to unpack this and, you know, have this moment. What I will say to you is that as we enter the holiday season, love on the ones that are closest to you and that matter. Make sure that you call those that you love. I struggle with that myself. For my people dealing with mental health issues, it's going to be all right. Just take it one day at a time. For my people struggling with weight, the battle or the bulge, it's going to be all right. Yeah, you missed the gym today, but just get up and go tomorrow. So what? You had a donut. Move on. Life happens. But in that, with that being said, I want you all to have a great night. I am glad that you guys have missed these meetings. I'm glad that you're happy we're back. I didn't know if people would still show up for these, but I am forever grateful. Y'all have a great evening. Wrestling come on at 8, and then I gotta watch it. I'm sucked into Dancing with the Stars, y'all. Oh my God, it's a lot. But anyway, y'all have a great evening, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.